From KGW, this is The Good Stuff.
Tonight on The Good Stuff, we're kicking off Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. All month long, we'll be highlighting outstanding and influential Asian Americans as part of our Breaking Barriers series. Thanks for joining us. I'm Deidre Johnson. For our first feature, we have the inspiring story of Hazel Ying Lee, who was from Portland. She was the first Chinese American woman to fly for the U.S. military. Christine Prinawanich has her story.
If her radiant smile didn't give it away, her skills in the cockpit of a plane probably did. Hazel Ying Lee loved to fly. Born in Portland in 1912, Hazel took her first flight when she was 19 years old, earning her pilot's license in less than a year. At the time, women pilots were few and far between. Asian women pilots were an even smaller group. But Hazel had a calling. In 1942, during World War II, when many men were fighting overseas, she joined the WASP program. WASP standing for Women Air Force Service Pilots. Hazel became the first Chinese American woman to fly for the U.S. military. Julie Leung wrote a 2021 book about Hazel, hoping to help people re-examine stereotypes associated with Asian American women and also the meaning of patriotism.
I mean, she was an incredible woman. There are so many things, like she would write in lipstick like Chinese nicknames on her fellow pilot's tail.
All despite serving at a time when many people wouldn't have considered her an American because of discrimination.
You know, Hazel flew at a time when the Chinese Exclusion Act was in full effect. And in a lot of people's eyes, Chinese weren't Americans. And despite that fact, she still died in service for this country.
Hazel died in Montana in 1944 after miscommunication involving the control tower. Her plane collided with another while landing. Her brother Victor also died while serving in the U.S. military.
Such an amazing story. Well, Hazel's family was denied a spot for her in the cemetery because it was in the whites-only section. Her family pushed back, writing a letter to then President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Today, she and her brother are buried at Riverview Cemetery in Portland. People gathered at Oaks Amusement Park in Portland to raise money for a great cause. The Autism Society of Oregon recently held their 22nd annual Autism Walk. About 2,000 people from Oregon and Southwest Washington were at the event. The group says most people are aware of autism. The goal now is to promote acceptance.
What we're trying to do here is make a day that's fun for the people in the community and for their family members and other supporters, to also have a lot of information here from all the different resource tables, and to make a place where community members can meet each other.
I hope that all of you get involved more and help others and learn how to accept autism and other disabilities as well.
To be sensitive to those with autism, the event offered a quiet room and didn't play any music. Funds raised during the walk will help support local programs. May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. New research from the University of Oregon shows when teens feel a sense of belonging in their community, it can help their mental health. Sydney Dorner spoke with a Portland teen who struggled herself and is now helping others.
I struggled with wanting to disappear, but never really wanting to die.
Aditi Khanna is a senior at Westview High School in Beaverton. She's been battling with anxiety and her mental health since 7th grade.
I didn't want to have to deal with the day-to-day life stuff. I didn't want to have to deal with issues with my friends. I didn't want to have to deal with getting out of bed in the morning.
Things started to look up for her when her mom suggested she go to therapy and start taking medication.
I would just kind of wallow when things got really bad, and I would just let it kind of consume me. And now it's if I'm having a really bad week or I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety, I can take some time in myself to be okay, I know what I need, and I know I need to pull myself out of this.
Now she's pulling others out of the same dark place, working at Youth Line, a national teen-to-teen crisis support line. The CDC says 20% of U.S. high schoolers have had serious thoughts about suicide. Lauren Burney from University of Oregon analyzed data from a group of almost 300 high-risk teens. She found social connections in schools and in their community lowered the risk of suicide attempts.
It's not just receiving clinical health treatment, it's also feeling supported and feeling belonging.
Burney also found strong social connections had the same protective effect for survivors of sexual and physical abuse or teens with disordered eating. She says schools can help foster protective relationships through peer support groups or mentorship programs. Anna Catherine Scroy also works for Youthline.
You might have to look a little hard and find a group of people that you really connect with, but it's very likely that they are out there.
Youthline has people ready to help and provide emotional support. If you or a teen you know is struggling, you can reach them at 877-968-8491. Help is also available through the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, it was a wish come true for a young boy battling a tough condition. 6-year-old James from West Virginia loves collecting sea glass. He wanted to visit Oregon to see the Finders Keepers floats hidden on the beaches. Make-A-Wish Oregon helped bring him to Lincoln City to search for the treasures. James has to undergo a lot of treatments because of a respiratory condition. He couldn't wait to go to the beach.
It was so exciting. I mean, just anytime you can see your kid doing what they love is amazing, but I think it has an added importance when you know that his life isn't always as easy as other kids.
The Finders Keepers floats are hand-blown glass pieces hidden along the beach. James also got to visit the glass shop that made them and make one of his own. Very cool. And teachers at the Salem-Keizer School District got a sweet surprise today. Over 6,000 pies were delivered thanks to the Salem Leadership Foundation and the Willamette Pie Company and others. It was to show appreciation for their hard work and everything they do for the community. They were able to choose from several flavors, including cherry, apple, and peach. Coming up, helping others can actually help you. The science behind the benefits of volunteering when we return. But first, we take a quick look at the Skycam. Check it out. Last week was National Volunteer Week, and there are many health benefits to giving back to others. It turns out volunteers don't just help their communities, but also themselves during their own times of need. Alexandra Starling remembers the day her husband was diagnosed with a rare cancer. He had symptoms for years, but they didn't know what it was.
He did have the cancer for about 10 years before the more serious symptoms such as weight loss and vomiting started to display.
Doctors discovered the cancer was already in the late stage 4 and he needed immediate treatment. Alexandra drove him to his appointments.
It was a terminal illness, but the treatments were able to prolong our time together. And yeah, without that, he would have missed a lot of great moments that we were able to create together.
She now volunteers with the American Cancer Society, giving cancer patients rides to their appointments, just like she did for her husband.
In the early times of grief, it can be very challenging. And one of the ways that I felt I needed to move forward was to try to find joy. And for me, trying to find joy came in the form of volunteering.
According to the American Cancer Society, currently in the state of Oregon, they're only filling 60% of the ride requests they receive. In Portland Metro, they're only filling 50% of the ride requests they receive. The American Cancer Society needs more volunteers and wants people to understand the health benefits of volunteering. Volunteers at the Dougy Center also play a pivotal role. Andrew Over donates his time at the place that also helped him.
I had a good friend who committed suicide about 14 years ago, and his family was served by the Dougy Center. And my friend was a basketball player, and so one of the ways that I volunteered to help raise money was to shoot hoops on his behalf.
Just as volunteering helped Alexandra and Andrew, Keela Slaughter-Scott with Cambia Health says there are other health benefits.
Overall, it really boosts one's joy and self-esteem. It improves your physical health because you're out there being active in the community, as well as your mental health.
It allows you to give back.
Serve your community in a passionate way. I think about Dr. Maya Angelou. She talks about being a rainbow in someone else's cloud. It's an opportunity to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud.
And make a difference.
So that's also a way that I honor my husband. Is every day I'm given an opportunity, I'm here. And if I can make the world a better place, then that's definitely something I'm going to do with my life going forward.
Make it a priority, because there are a lot of people that are in need. And it's not just raising money, or it's not just finding other ways to give. There are a lot of ways that you can help support organizations.
So great to give back if you can. Well, for more resources and more health stories, visit kgw.com/healthier together. Coming up, a program that supports a smoother transition back to society for those just getting out of prison. But first, we'll take you out to Lincoln City with our Chinook Winds Skycam, where it looks like a typical Pacific Northwest day on the beach. And yesterday, we asked you to send us pictures of your adopted pets, and you sent us so many, we still have some to share. Here's a few more of your furry friends. Welcome back. A correctional facility is helping people prepare for life once they're out of custody. The new program called UPAC teaches skills of different trades to help them with their future career goals. China Green spoke with some of the women who graduated last month.
Oh yeah. I think it definitely changed my life.
Grit.
Go! Yeah!
Gratitude.
The other girls in the program are awesome. I couldn't have done it without them.
And hope.
Now I have a whole future ahead of me.
Brick by brick, opportunities are being built by these 5 women at Coffee Creek Correctional Facility. For the past 12 weeks, Ashley Lautenschlager, along with 4 other women, have been learning a variety of trades, laying bricks, pouring concrete, and welding metal, thanks to a new program called UPAC, which stands for Union Pre-Apprenticeship Construction Training.
In the trades, they don't care if you have a record as long as you show up and you work hard every day and you're there and willing to learn.
Ashley has been incarcerated for 5 years over property crimes. She gets out in July.
We just picked the wrong path. Instead of going out and getting a career and going to college, we chose to go out and choose crime, but we were still like high energy go-getters. So if we can turn that go-getter energy into something positive like a career and have people that don't judge us for that, then that's awesome.
The goal of the grant-funded program is to help these women find good jobs after serving their sentences, while also adding more women to the building trades.
First thing in the morning, they're packing 80 pounds of rebar for half an hour. And then we will focus on that particular day's curriculum, whether it be inside working on, construction math, or if we're outside learning skills.
What did we come up with? Our dimensions.
12 foot 10 inches by 4 foot.
Okay.
Their time is split between instructors from several unions, including Cement Masons Local 555 and Bricklayers Local 1.
She had a plan in place.
UPAC lead instructor and Local 29 journeyman Anna Martin witnessed the growth, even within herself.
I had a lot of unknown preconceived notions about this environment, and getting to work with these women has made me grow as an individual. It has definitely expanded my view on society.
You seem like you're getting a little
I am. I'm getting a little teary-eyed. I really am. I'm so proud of them. I really am.
A common theme among the instructors.
I'd hire any one of them.
Starting over and getting a second chance isn't a one-size-fits-all journey.
I think that's a far better option than just, let's throw every single person in treatment and then we can say we gave them an option. So I think this is giving us a whole career path of changing a lot of people's lives.
And for Ashley, the life she wants is, well, simple.
Live a good life, be a productive member of society, go to work, come home.
Good job.
A local rower has big ambitions that will take him to the Paralympic Games later this year. More on his story up next. And here's a look from our Timberline Lodge with Mount Hood standing proud and tall. And here's some more pics of your adorable rescue pets before we take a break. We'll be back in less than 3 minutes. We're just 86 days away from the Olympic Games in Paris. But today we're talking about the Paralympic Games that begin August 30th. The contest will feature a local rower who's chasing his dreams. Art Edwards shares his story.
On a cool, cloudy morning, 49-year-old Todd Vogt is on the water in the Multnomah Channel. The first of 3 workouts he'll do on this day.
Being out on the water is great.
Kerry Connolly is in the scull with him to help with training.
10 miles.
Hans Feige is on a boat, keeping a close eye on them. Vogt first started rowing in college, then competed at the club level and in masters events.
I was pretty much hooked from the first practice on the water.
He's also coached in high school and college, but in the fall of 2017, everything started to change.
I noticed like my body just felt off that whole fall. I felt like weak and tired, and like I felt like I wasn't moving well, and I just assumed I was getting old, basically.
In 2018, he was diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's disease. It mostly affects his left side, and Vogt began to think of how things would change for him.
And in addition to like how this is going to impact my marriage and like job and things like that, one of the first things I thought was like, well, that's it, I'm done rowing, which is pretty, and like that upset me because like rowing, was a big part of my life.
But it only set the stage for his second act. Vogt knew about para-rowing and made contact with the national team. He got invited to the national team camp and ultimately made Team USA. He rows in the mixed double sculls. His biggest success so far, winning a silver medal and standing on the podium at the World Championships last year.
It was crazy. I mean, sorry, it makes me a little like emotional even just to talk about it, but like, yeah, it's pretty wild after the, it was pretty amazing, like the fact that like being there like with Parkinson's and sort of like achieving my rowing dreams a little bit.
In January, he got the word that he would be part of Team USA for the Paralympics.
I'm really nervous about it, so I've been training really hard, but at the same time, I think we have a real shot to win a medal.
He'll row with Sage Harper. They'll start training together in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, Vogt spends 6 days a week training both on the water and in the gym, and doing what he can to manage his Parkinson's disease.
I would like to think that the amount of exercise I'm doing has been helpful for dealing with the symptoms. So
his biggest rowing test will come on the water in August in France.
It hasn't been the easiest journey of time, so yeah, it makes me like, I feel good about the, how hard I've worked,
Art Edwards, KGW News.
Wow, so amazing. Well, good luck to him. Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for taking a little time for the good stuff. Before those last batch of pets, take a look at our sky cam in the Dalles as the sun makes its way below the horizon. We hope you have a wonderful evening and enjoy these cute furry faces.